Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
First off, thank you to Enter the Stars Reloaded. They're a channel on YouTube that shared this with me. From the New York Post, how Ghislaine rose from the ashes. Maxwell's heirs building a new business empire. March 23rd, 2000. For Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of the disgraced media tycoon, Robert Maxwell, it was an exquisite moment of triumph and redemption. As she sat in the front row of Fashion Week's Ralph Lauren show, all eyes were on her and the man at her side, Britain's Prince Andrew. As the next craned to see, as cameras flashed in Motor Drive's world, the favorite child of the former New York Daily News owner smiled regally and quietly savored the attention. Just a short time ago, people spat at the name Maxwell, if they spoke it at all. Now, the public gesture of friendship by Britain's most eligible royal was a signal to the world that the once reviled Maxwells were back. And beautiful. I don't know about that. And 39-year-old Ghislaine is their public face. Ew. Ghislaine couldn't have done in Britain what she has achieved here. Every step would have been scrutinized and criticized, said a family friend. She has kept just the right profile. Being out with Prince Andrew was a startling social coup. It made everyone stand up and take notice. It is 9 years since Robert Maxwell disappeared from the deck of his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, into the inhospitable waters of the Atlantic. He left behind a media empire in ruins, crushed by debt and pillaged by his own avarice. He had looted $600 million from the pension funds of his employees in a vain attempt to keep the empire afloat, and thousands of families would suffer as a result. It is widely assumed that Maxwell committed suicide rather than face the inevitable consequences. An inquest called it an accident. Either way, he left his 7 children to shoulder a heavy burden of ignominy and shame. Incredibly, they have rebuilt another fortune on the smoking ruins of the first. Robert Maxwell saw himself as Britain's Joseph P. Kennedy, the patriarch of the dynasty that would wield financial and political power on a global scale. Like Kennedy, he expended much of his children and pushed them hard. Quote, he would interrogate them at the dinner table about history or geopolitics, said a once regular guest in the sprawling Maxwell estate in southern England. He could reduce them to tears if they didn't know an answer. He could be a cold man, and the temperature in the house dropped noticeably when he was there. The colder he was, the more his youngest daughter tried to please him. Maxwell even dreamed that he might one day forge an alliance with the Kennedys by marrying Ghislaine to JFK Jr. The two became close friends and remained so until Kennedy's tragic death last year, which would be 1999. Ghislaine has also been a guest at a number of Kennedy weddings and family events. Ghislaine was sent to Marlborough, one of England's top private schools, and to Oxford. Maxwell made her director of a British soccer club and set her up with her own fiefdom, a company that supplies corporate gifts. When in January 91, he bought the tottering Daily News and rescued it from oblivion, she was sent to Manhattan to be the advance guard for his foray into New York society. A few months later, he was dead. Of all his children, she took his death the hardest. She was unable to accept her father's guilt and likely suicide, and insists to this day that a dark conspiracy of Mossad renegades and Sicilian contract killers took his life. Interesting, huh? Ghislaine was already suffering emotionally. A long passionate affair with Count Saconia, the dashing scion of the aristocratic clan that owns the Siga Hotels chain, ended painfully. She had hoped to one day be his Contessa. I don't even know what the fuck a count is. I thought it was like a vampire, like Dracula. In a short space of time, she had lost her lover, her prospects, her share of the family fortunes, and her beloved father. There's a story that the Maxwell name was so detested in London that she had to walk around in a blonde wig so people wouldn't recognize her. She is being treated like Marie Antoinette there. She wisely realized she had to make her life in New York, where her father was less well known, and people care more about what you can do than who you used to be. She was like one of those European princes who had been deposed. You mean like this guy? But she had no title and no money. The most obvious way out of a jam like that is find a rich husband, darling and quick. Ghislaine wasn't entirely penniless. She lived off an invaluable trust immune from the family's financial difficulties and yielded an income of about $100 grand a year, enough to ensure that she would never starve. Do you know what I can do with $100,000 a year? A lot fucking more than I can do now. That's a lot of money. Not enough for her, though. Within a year of her father's death, she was dating immensely wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein. He provided a platform for her return to public prominence. It filled the emotional vacuum in her life by the death of her father. Epstein is an enigmatic figure. Rumors abound, including wild ones about a career in the Mossad and, contrarily, the CIA. Ghislaine's siblings have also been busy rebuilding the family's financial fortunes. The source of much of their new wealth is McKinley Group, a California company founded by Maxwell's twin daughters, Isabel and Christine. Named after North America's highest mountain, the company developed a high-tech internet search engine called Magellan. It was profitable, but inevitably, after a while, started to lose customers to Yahoo. The Maxwell sisters sold out to another internet search engine company, Excite, for about $18 million. When Excite was sold last year, the value of those shares had risen 1,000%. An Israeli email company, ComTouch, hired Isabel as president, while Christine launched another web business, an internet publisher named Chiliad. Meanwhile, Maxwell's sons, Kevin and Ian, rounded up private investors in the US to create Telemonde, a company involved in the complex business of buying and leasing telecommunications bandwidth. The company went public last year, but has suffered setbacks in its efforts to make an impression on the NASDAQ stock market. Robert Maxwell was fond of warning his children, quote, "Confidence is like virginity. You can only lose it once." His children, however, appear to have recovered theirs. That's some weird shit, huh? And I found an earlier link to Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein because you have the picture at the palace in 2006 where Epstein's in the, quote, Navy SEALs uniform. There's rumors that this could be a fake picture, but I threw it in Photoshop, I inverted it, I saw an outline kind of around Epstein's head, but then when I go back, he's got these highlights right here, so it could be real. And the reason I think it may be is the party was a Victorian-themed coming-of-age party. And it was already known that he went to the party because his house had already been raided when he was there. And Beatrice wore a 10,000-pound blue taffeta gown designed by Georgina Chapman, who later married Hollywood producer Weinstein. So he had a reason to be there.
You got a kid too that you protect and shit. But in 10 years, you'll fuck up all her friends and shit. We don't fuck with niggas like you. I hope this make you wanna fight too. R. Kelly for a long while was a pedophile and you that type too.
Back on the radar. From February 6, 2004. Heavily hyped Radar magazine put out 2 issues of pop politics scandal style last year and then faded away. Forever? Maybe not. A group of high-profile New Yorkers that failed in its recent attempt to buy New York Magazine is said to be pursuing other projects, including a possible bankrolling of editor and publisher Meir Roshan's Radar. The group includes Daily News chairman and co-publisher Mortimer B. Zuckerman, Miramax Films co-chairman Harvey Weinstein, Triarch Cause CEO Nelson Peltz, advertising executive Donnie Douche, and financier Jeffrey Epstein. Weinstein, whose partnership is now defunct, Talk, put him in contract with editorial director Roshan, later invested in Radar. Zuckerman spokesman Ken Friedman declined comment. Another source denied Radar was on the radar, but confirmed the group was exploring other opportunities. Thank you to whoever made that dancing Epstein. I'll leave a link where I got it. Fucking stoned.
I got